Welcome everyone back to Stiff Radio. This is the second episode for anyone who's counting. Hey, let's do our merch plug. What you say? From our boys over at Milestone Wrestling, you got the Southern Slaughter 2015. Happened August 22nd, 2015. If you weren't there, probably should have been. Hey, a lot of good matches, a lot of good participants. Give them some love. Belton Creedmore's got them. And, get them. Alright, updates. Tournament of Survival. We all know the field now. We got John Wayne Murdoch, Bryant Woods, Masada, Danny Havoc, Marcus Crane, Joker, Scott Summers, and the Viking. Hey, I don't know who everybody's voting for. I've heard a lot about Bryant Woods winning this one. John Zandig's supposed to be very big on Bryant Woods, and a lot of people are thinking he's going to take this one. Personally, I think it's going to come down to either Joker or Danny Havoc. I wouldn't be surprised to see those two in the finals this year. Other than that, we have no updates on Death Squared. We haven't heard any stipulations. We haven't heard any new participants. We haven't heard who the deathmatch legend that's supposed to be there is. Right now, Milestone is doing our kickoff for the Summer of Blood. I put up a countdown earlier today. I'll pin it back up on Deathmatches Will Not Die here tonight for the kickoff for the Summer of Blood. And it is going to be Milestone's Death Squared, followed by Tournament of Survival, followed by another tournament that we have not heard anything new about, but I'm expecting to hear something new very soon. And that is Tournament of Death, the returning classic. That's right. Prelude to Violence is coming up. We're going to see Danny Havoc challenge Matt Tremont for the world title. And when he does, I'm expecting that night for us to hear some more about Tournament of Death. I'm also expecting to hear Matt Tremont's name get entered into Tournament of Death. In case you don't know, for some reason he has not been announced yet. I don't know if he's not wanting to do Tournament of Death now that he's won it, or what have you. Tennessee Mayhem, the tournament I've been pushing to the sky and back. My answer for Carnage Cup not happening this year is got two changes this week. Two. Big Job Forge and Michelle Lee dropped off, and we upgraded people. The people over at ACWF have upgraded those two positions. They got Peter B. Beautiful, and they got Kathy Owens, arguably one of the best female deathmatch wrestlers out there. Big upgrade there from somebody who we didn't know to somebody that we all know and love. Congratulations for Kathy to be in it. Good work for the guys over doing it. The other big tournament that we got to talk about tonight is Vicious Outcast Wrestling's Lords of Anarchy. It is blowing up. It is going to be huge. Already announced, Matt Tremont, DJ Hyde, Devin Moore, Josh Crane, and John Wayne Murdoch. We talked all about them last week. But it seems almost every other day, if not every day, a new name is coming into this tournament. We got Trip Cassidy. We got Adam Bueller. Got Jeff Cannonball. And we got Dale Patricks announced for this tournament. We still are not seeing any of the Vicious Outcast Wrestling normal guys. Patrick Hayes, Derek Direction, G-Raver, Gory. Those guys, Super Beast. Those are the guys I want to see if they're going to be in it again this year. I'm hoping one of them makes it really far into the tournament. Last year's, if you didn't watch it, I'm telling you, go to Smart Mark, get that shit. You need it in your collection. You want it in your collection. We all need to support this product. Because if we don't, nobody's going to, and the product's going to die. Right now, our deathmatch scene is getting big. And we need to love it like a small child, nurture it, and get it bigger. Alright. Survival of the Sickest. It's coming. I think it's May 7th. Matt Tremont says we are going to know every participant, who they're facing, and all the stipulations. Right now, how it's going to work. You're going to have four preliminary round matches. That will get you into the finals. And then there'll be a four-way dance for the finals with two non-tournament matches. Side note, actually, Tournament Survival does have a non-tournament match announced. We all thought that John Zandig was going to join Tournament Survival. But he is not. It is actually going to be John Zandig versus Joey Janela. They are marketing it right now as the bad man, John Zandig, versus the bad boy, Joey Janela. I don't know how to think about this match. There were no steps announced originally, and it doesn't necessarily say it's going to be a death match, but John Zandig has said that he's bringing barbed wire. Read into that as you will. Another big thing, there was a secondary match announced, but it's already been kiboshed. It's not going to happen. In case you didn't know that, it is not happening. Our scene's getting strong, people, and we need to show product love. We need to show them that there is a market for our kind of wrestling. Don't worry about who calls it real, who calls it fake. None of that crap matters. What matters is we support these guys. Alright? So go to the shows, buy the shirts, buy the DVDs. Don't let these companies think we don't love them, because they will stop making the product. Alright, I want to talk about TOD for a little while here tonight. Tournament of Death is coming up June 11th. So, in Tournament of Death this year, we got Alex Colon, Tim Donst, Danny Havoc, Connor Claxton, DJ Hyde. Am I forgetting anybody? Who am I forgetting? Connor Claxton, DJ Hyde, Danny Havoc, Ricky Shane Page. Thought I really forgot, didn't you? Only reason I did that is because Ricky Shane Page and DJ Hyde and Danny Havoc and Connor Claxton, all of them last year's competitors. Did great, but it's not a lot of variety for us, is it? Alex Colon has been in a couple of death matches, but is not a normal, everyday deathmatch wrestler. He doesn't do this all the time. We don't know what to expect. Are we going to get an awesome match with him and Danny Havoc, or are we going to get kind of a, just kind of a blase, it's there, it happened, he was in Tournament of Death at 1 year. And then Tim Donst is the same way. We've seen him get violent with Joe Gacy, but now he's taking on Ricky Shane Page, a very large guy who could beat the living hell out of Tim Donst. We've seen Tim Donst get violent, but we haven't really seen him get ultra violent to the level that he's going to have to make it anywhere in this tournament. This tournament is not for the everyday wrestler who gets into a hardcore match every other month. This is for the guys who bleed buckets all over arenas all over the world. That's what this tournament's for. And it's the only major classic we have returning. Honestly, I think that all of our major classics, minus Tournament of Death, they have their replacements. Equivalent to this year's Carnage Cup, I think it's Tennessee Mayhem. Equivalent to this year's King of the Death match, I think you got Lords of Anarchy. And then equivalent to a Masters of Pain, you got Tournament of Survival from John Zandig. Boom, your mind's gone, your wig's blown. You need to pick yourself back up and realize that the death match scene this year is just as strong as every other year. Maybe even stronger, because these new tournaments, they're not like the old ones where they know you're going to buy the DVD. They know you want to be there. They have to prove themselves. They have to come out of the box and figure out, what can I do? What can I say? What can I bring to the table that hasn't been brought before? Pretty exciting time to be a deathmatch fan, if you ask me. It's a pretty exciting time to be an Insane Lane fan, honestly. Because I'm an Insane Lane fan. I push him to the moon and back. Insane Lane is in Death Squared. He's in Tennessee Mayhem. I fully expect him to be in Southern Slaughter. He's not slowing down in his older age. He's still our mental messiah. He's still the psychotic suplex machine that he always has been. So what does that mean? Why am I even bringing this up? Because Insane Lane rocks. That's why. During our AMAs, we've had a couple of requests days that we've asked y'all, who do you want us to look for? Who do you want us to get? And we go out and we try. Some of the guys, they're too busy, and it's not a knock. They really are. I mean, think about it. These guys travel, they wrestle, they have real jobs, real families. Us asking an hour of their time, it can just add too much. And fully understandable. But some of you guys have actually asked for the Insane Clown Posse and Kevin Gill, who runs Juggalo Championship Wrestling, if you do not know. Those guys are on tour all the time with their music, but I wanted to talk about something, and it's the subculture life that we live, but also those of us who are juggalos live a subcultured life. Because we love deathmatch wrestling, and we also happen to be juggalos. A lot of your wrestlers, if you look, have juggalo tattoos and juggalo affiliations. Insane Lane, Ian Rotten, Bryant Woods has the big tattoo across his back, the back of his arm there. Matt Raby. If you don't know who Matt Raby is, I feel sorry for you because you're never going to. He quit wrestling tonight, and I'm heartbroken. Absolutely heartbroken. Matt, if you're out there, I completely understand why you did it, but you broke my heart. I was looking forward to seeing you and Tristan Ramsey in this year's Southern Slaughter in the rematch that you just whooped that man's ass with a rake. Come on. I mean, it was a beautiful thing. Y'all's match was absolute poetry. I wish you could have gone further. I wish that you could have been in other tournaments around the way. But I digress. He is a juggalo in his own right. A lot of people involved in the deathmatch scene also identify as a juggalo. And the whole idea behind what I'm talking about is, what other subcultures do we have in our little group? You know? Like, what else do they self-identify as besides deathmatch wrestling fans? And I want to know. Comment, subscribe. Deathmatches will not die. Put it up there. I want to know. I know we have music video makers. I've made a couple myself. But Roarback, I'm screwing up his name. I know he is. I am. The man has made somewhere around 30 Defend Deathmatch Wrestling music videos, and they're all amazing. I've watched most of them. And I just think I need to give him a quick shout out. Hey, we love you, man. Don't stop what you're doing. Keep it up. Deathmatches will not die. We'll always let you post your stuff on our page. Don't stop. Keep it going. Another thing I want to talk about this week is the spots that we watch. Are there any that make us cringe? Personally, they're barefoot. Anything barefoot, just, especially blades and barefoot and glass and barefoot. Legos, I can sympathize. I have children. It hurts when you step on them. But when you double stomp a gusset plate, I think it hurts a lot worse, you know? And the other thing I want to talk about is foreign deathmatch wrestlers. We have the scene, which is Japan and America. But we also have Canada. And the Japan and America, it brings me to my next point, my big point for tonight. This is what tonight's been building to. I want to talk about the changing of the guard as far as deathmatch wrestling is concerned. A couple of weeks ago, as everybody knows, Matt Tremont came out with a brand new shirt. And it says, Japan is scared. Now, we all know that that's probably one of Matt Tremont's goals, is to go over there and wrestle the greats. He's wrestled Kasai before, but I'm sure there's other greats he would love to get his hands on. I know he's called out Onita before. But my point is, over there you got Big Japan, and the question has come up almost every AMA to every superstar. Where is the best place for deathmatch wrestling? Is it America or is it Japan? I sat there and I thought about it for a little while last week. And everybody says Japan, Japan, Japan. I don't know. I don't know it's Japan anymore. Japan has great product. Don't get me wrong. We never down talk Japan. Japan has a great product. They do what they do, and they can do a lot more than us because of different rules. And those tables are stiff on their own. But America has more companies doing death matches more often with more guys to fill positions. And it's not even just the American guys. The Canadian guys come down here and do it too. Sexy Eddie, the Bloodstained Hurricane, Green Phantom, the Arsenal, Simon Says. These guys come down and they work here all the time for our tournaments because, honestly, Japan isn't calling all that many Americans or Canadians over there to do it. I mean, we almost lost Danny Havoc permanently from a match that most of us have never seen. If you don't know, he was over in Japan working, hurt his ankle, and almost ended up crippled from it. And he's our guy, you know? Like, he might not be a big deal to them, but to us, he's a legend. He's cemented his legacy already. We've already talked about how Danny Havoc doesn't need to win the world title, but he should. He deserves it. I honestly think that a third Tournament of Death title would mean more to Danny Havoc than ever holding the world title. But that's my opinion. That's one man's opinion. And that's the beauty of this forum. I get to express my opinion. And my opinion is I think he should be a 3-time Tournament of Death champion. More than I think he should ever hold the world title. I damn sure think he deserves it. I damn sure think that he should eventually run with it once, maybe. But he's not. It's not going to affect his status one way or the other. He's going to be a major player in CZW, regardless if he's the champion or if he's the 3-time Tournament of Death winner. Both ways you look at it, he's Danny Havoc. He's Danny Tiberius Fellatio Ulysses Havoc. I think that was the whole title that he got at one point. And I don't think he could ever change that, you know? In the coming weeks, another thing I want to bring up is I want to talk about some of the guys who, they're not superstars in the fact that they get into the ring and they mix it up, but we all know them. The ring announcers, the referees, and the fans that are more than fans. But that's next week. That's episode 3. This is only episode 2, in case you ain't counting. 2. So what else are we going to talk about tonight? We can talk a little bit about our AMAs that are coming up. As you know, May is already on us, or almost on us. And we have Insane Lane to start, or to end April. And then we have Peter Be Beautiful to start May. We have one guy who's always there, always active, but we want more of y'all. If you're on Death Matches Will Not Die, if you're just channeling on the internet, be there and ask questions. Everybody says they're going to these events. I set up the thread every week. Just look on it. It's pinned to the top at 5 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Eastern. It's pinned to the top so that everybody can see it. I'm sure you get the reminders on your phone. Hey, Dale Patrick's AMA is up at this time. So, be there, man. Ask these guys questions. They want you to. They think it's fun. They have fun answering your questions. They're there. Like, you can't do that with WWE guys. You can't do that with TNA guys. But with our guys, with the indie guys, with the deathmatch guys especially, they want to answer your questions. They want to interact with you. And they want your feedback on what you think is going good and going bad in the deathmatch scene. They do. Another big shout out to Milestone Wrestling for everything they're doing. Before I get out of here tonight, I just want to plug it one more time. Hey, You can't get this from Smart Mark. You can't get this from Smart Mark. Does not have this. Look at it. Smart Mark does not have it. You have to get it from Belton Creedmoor. The House of Pain. So, with that, I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. Let y'all go. Have a nice night. Have a safe night. And I will see you next week right here on Stiff Radio.